Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tim from over the years. Hello, welcome to another edition of Antique and Vintage Live Research and Identification Help Show, brought to you by Over the Years. My name is Tim, and what we do here is people will send us items and we will help them identify and research those items. Well, we try our best, obviously. If you've watched before, sometimes they can become quite difficult, as my man Mark has sent in one today that is going to be a definite tough one for sure. But I mean, it's fun, and it always helps that we have people here to chime in, because if like, I don't really do this by myself. I do this with a lot of help from everybody in the chat, which is super awesome. Ma Dukes is here. She's laying down watching on her phone, so she'll be chiming in along the way. And it should be a lot of fun as per usual. So hopefully we can figure out what we have here tonight. And don't forget, if you guys ever have anything, you guys come across something that you need help identifying, the email will be scrolling across the bottom of the screen. If you guys want to submit something to help and you need some help identifying, that's what we're here for. So I will start, as always, by saying hello to the wonderful people that are here right now as we speak. Oh, my back, my body, I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. All right.
My Dukes is in bed.
Yeah, my Dukes gets to do the live from bed, so she's loving life right now. First in the building is the absolutely lovely and wonderful Michelle. Michelle, thank you for joining us. And my man Mark, the Constellation Pegasus, who has submitted an item for identification tonight. And Aaron from Rebel Junk, who has also submitted an item for identification this evening. And our good friend Bill. What's going on, Bill? How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us. Jen Bootsy. Did I ever tell you that Bootsy Collins is one of my favorites of all time? I love Bootsy Collins. And Jody checking in from Canada. What's going on, Jody? Hope all is well.
I haven't heard from Jody for a while.
My mom says she hasn't heard from you for a while. And S.A. Peacock is in the building. How are you doing this lovely evening? And Trisha from San Diego. How are you? How are you? No, it's cool, Aaron. We're going to get to you. We only have 2 submissions tonight, so we're going to get cracking here shortly. I hope everybody is enjoying their day. I have been prepping for these tonight's live sale. We have a live sale that goes on at 8:00 p.m. Jody says hello, my Dukes.
Jody.
Hopes we've been doing well. Jen says she loves Bootsy Collins too. Yes, Bootsy Collins is the man. Romeo, my mom's dog, is on a mission today. I don't know what is up with him. He just will not chill. There you go, bud. Just sit down, relax, enjoy the show, my man. All right. So let's pull up the first item on the docket this evening. I'm going to bring up the chat on my phone so that I can keep tabs with everybody that is chiming in, because it is always a lot of help when I see everybody's input on the item that we are trying to identify. All right, share screen. All right, we're ready to rock and roll, ladies and gents. All right, so this is our first item tonight. This was submitted by Aaron from Rebel Junk. I probably should read the email really fast.
Oh,
Let me go here. Remove that.
what happened?
So let me go ahead and give you guys the down low on this. What's going on, Tommy? How you doing, brother? It is a giraffe.
Yeah.
It is. It is a giraffe. So she thought it might have been a deer, but it is, I believe, to be a giraffe as well. It is baby pink. It feels very smooth, satin to the touch. Definitely ceramic. It's about 7 inches tall, 5 inches across. There's a marking on the bottom that looks like a YW or MH. So let's go back to sharing the screen. All right. So yes, this is a giraffe and not a deer. I think we can all agree on that right now, right?
Yeah.
The form definitely looks familiar. And the thing that's really interesting is, I mean, I don't know if you would necessarily consider that to be Art Deco or not. Maybe. And that is the marking that she was talking about. I'm not quite sure. What that marking might be. Yeah, Aaron, it's a giraffe. You know, I think the tail in the sign of the giraffe is this part right here in between the ears. I think that is what makes it a giraffe. All right. And you guys can see. Now, it's actually, I think this is probably mid-century modern. I believe it to be maybe made by like a California pottery company. So what's interesting is we had a piece. Do you remember that? Don't fall asleep over there on me.
I'm not awake.
Your eyes was just closed.
Because the light was too bright.
There was a piece that we sold. It was one of those cats that had the rhinestone eyes. You remember?
Really? It was California pottery?
Remember it was like that pink satin smooth.
No,
it was like a bisque.
It was a bisque.
But I'm saying this might be along those lines. What's going on, Judy, Debbie, and Harry? So I think it is a California pottery maker. So first what we would do is we would type in pink. How you spell giraffe? GIRAFFE. Pink giraffe figurine. I think it's by Rosaline is what my guess is. It looks like this company that made this cat that I sold in a live sale recently. And the name of the company was Rosaline. I'm not seeing anything so far. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. All right. Which is kind of crazy because you would think, what's going on, Rosie? How are you? You would think that you would see that pink figurine,
sitting giraffe, kneeling giraffe.
But you know what? Rosaline might not be the company name. It might be the color name. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't go in that direction.
Wouldn't go in what direction?
Rosaline.
Okay. How do I spell it? Rosaline? Is that right?
ROSALEEN.
No. Rosaline. It does look like Rosaline. See? Mark concurs. It's not there. I know this is that form looks like a Rosaline form, see? Look, okay, Bung. Rose Lane. That's how you say it. Okay. So this looks like it matches to me.
I can't look at that on my phone like that.
Right? It's eerily similar for sure.
What color is it? Blue?
That one just doesn't look. This one looks like taller and skinny.
Oh, that looks like the same thing to me.
She says just didn't think it was the same since ours isn't marked. I mean, it this one looks a little bit skinnier, right? I'm trying to see if the definition, like for example, like I try to find like yeah, see this one says Rosaline on the bottom, hers doesn't. Yeah. That is the trick though. I mean, let me see. See, the thing is about these is that these are all marked. Rose Lane. It's ceramic. I found painted ones. What's going on, New England pickers? I completely understand why you would feel a little bit reluctant because like to me that's very, very close to being the same. Now, see, there is a couple of things that are a little bit different. I mean, that looks just about as close as you can get to it. Yeah, it hers might be a smaller version, yeah. And you know what else might be the case too is that yours might be like pre-production, like maybe it never made it off the
second, maybe.
a second, maybe, yeah. Come on, what are you doing? Why won't you go? Now see, Tommy's telling me to check Instagram. Yeah, Tommy's found some on eBay that says vintage. I got pizza sauce in my hand. Vintage ceramic giraffe figurine pair to stylized sitting painted gold MCM style. So, it is very quite possible that yours is not a Rosaline, and that's difficult. That's really it's super frustrating because it looks like a Rosaline. Rose Lane. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but it isn't marked, and I understand. Like, how I am about. Let's see. The big one is marked Rosaline 262, and both signed GT on the bottom. They stand at 7.5 inches tall and 4 3/4 inches tall. Yours stands at 7 inches tall. So yours is the same size as the big one. But I'm wondering if... What's going on, Tracy? Thank you for joining us, as always. Let's see. Let me go back to the marking. GT. I mean... that's tough. It's definitely not GT like this guy was saying. MB from Belfast, Northern Ireland. I subscribed through Laney's Charity Day. Well, thank you, MB, for joining us. We appreciate the support and the love. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, what we do during this show is try to help people identify their vintage and antique items in which they submitted. So we want to thank everybody who has joining us. Poteets Vintage Finds, Rita, what's going on? Been a while. Hope all is well. Who owns this beauty? I love mod deers. This is Aaron's. We can research the marks some more now that we know the correct animal. Yeah, I mean the mark is definitely is difficult for sure. I can tell you that much. Dana, how are you? Tracy's yes, it this deer belongs to Aaron's mom. Oh, not deer, it's a giraffe. Did Tracy say deer? Yeah, it's not a deer, it's a giraffe, Tracy. Laugh out loud. It's a giraffe. Yes, it is a giraffe. Okay. All right. Let's try this. NCM sitting giraffe. That did not help. Sitting giraffe. Kink. Yes, please do, MB. That's what we do. Now see, these are these sitting. I don't want plush. Ceramic. I only get 15. That's crazy. I wonder. Okay. Ceramic sitting. Show the mark on the bottom again one more time. Okay. There is the mark on the bottom. I don't know what to make of that marking. I mean, I don't know which way it really is either. What's going on, David? How you doing, brother? I mean, can it be an HM, a YM, YW? I forgot. What did you say, Aaron, that you thought it was? Starts with a Y. That's what I mean. But it depends on which way we're looking at it, right? I think it is a Y. But what do you say? YM? YW? Hey, Susie, how you doing? Tracy says it still looks like a deer to her. YW or MH? Pink Giraffe, California Pottery 262. Yeah, that's the thing is that it looks exactly like the Rose Lane giraffe. Rose Lane, and you said it was it 262 giraffe. Yeah, it looks just like this one. But the only problem is that these are marked. Hers does not have the same marking. Jack Chipman, Encyclopedia of Second Edition. I mean, it's almost the exact same size too, which is what's crazy. Yun, maybe? That's interesting too. Definitely is a small. All right, let's see. What was I gonna say? Let's try this. Romeo. Pottery giraffe. I mean, they're all are pretty much the same thing as far as that Rose Lane. And they're all signed too. I wonder if these are signed. Yeah, see, those are both signed too. I mean, I don't want to say it's a knockoff, but it's definitely a possibility because it is literally exactly the same, but it just doesn't have the same, it doesn't have the marking. And the other possibility is that maybe this started out on the line in production and never made it through the end. Search on mark by picture in Google. I tried. Let me try again to see if I can search the marking. Romeo, chill out, bro. Hey.
Stop, bro.
All right. Let's try one more time to see if I can do the marking. No. Google sucks on this.
I'm gonna call you Mullen.
Romeo, chill out, bro. Yeah, see, I tried searching the mark, and yeah, that's hard. We didn't get Google to pick anything up. Same thing happened to me too. I wasn't able to find anything information-wise as far as the marking goes. I mean, me personally, this is what I would do. So, Romeo, you need to go out.
I just took him out.
I mean, like out of the room because he's.
Yeah, I'm not in a room, nigga.
All right. So personally, what I would do is like that. If you now that you do, like you said, now that you do know that it's a giraffe and not a deer, you know, you maybe now you might have some luck as far as researching the marking on the bottom. Now, obviously, as you can see from what we did so far, is that it is extremely similar, if not exactly the same, to the Rose Lane or Rosaline, however you'd like to say it, which is a California pottery company in the 50s and 60s. They made a whole bunch of different stuff, including figurines, but it does not carry that marking on the bottom, which kind of makes it super difficult. And so if you get to the point where you decide that you don't want to continue researching it anymore, I would just, sell it as a mid-century modern California pottery giraffe figurine. I wouldn't necessarily use the Rose Lane, Rosaline name because it isn't marked. But like I said, there's a possibility that this was it could have been a starter piece on the line and didn't make it all the way through production. It could be a couple of those sort of scenarios. Like I hate to just be like, oh, it's a knockoff or it's a repro or anything like that because I don't know for sure. But it definitely is eerily similar. So that's kind of crazy. Shout out to Dana, who says she received her amber glass Viking vase this week. It's even more gorgeous in person. I'm glad to hear. That's a good question. So I don't know if I would use that in this particular situation. Because what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think it's fine to just go with giraffe, mid-century modern or whatever.
Yeah, because it's in this particular situation. Yeah, and Tracy brings up a good point too. A description maybe, but not title. Because what happens is it might turn somebody off, or it might make it seem like you're trying to pass off something that could quite possibly be a remake or reproduction as an original. So me personally, I would just use the characteristics and words that describe the item. In this case, I would use, mid-century modern, sitting giraffe, figurine, California pottery, things of that nature. Maybe even 1950s, because it does have all of those sort of characteristics. And so I particularly wouldn't in this case. Like, there's been certain situations where I have used that sort of terminology and wording in a title or description. Like particularly selling Murano glass, because there was no sticker, there was no marking, nothing like that. But Murano is so wide range as far as a collection of makers that word can be used to describe a style of glass. Where in this case, if you use Rose Lane style, it might be more like you're trying to piggyback on that name as opposed to actually defining a style. But in the same sense, it could work also, which is why, like what Tracy is saying, is maybe using your description and not the title, because looking at the picture, I immediately had a vision of a piece that I had recently sold that was a Rose Lane, and it had a very vivid instant sort of correlation between the two pieces, which is why it made me think that it was that item to begin with. So I hope that explanation, makes sense to everybody and is helpful, not just in this case, but in any case, obviously, because, it depends on where you're listing and stuff like that. Like with Etsy, your title can be like 150, characters, and eBay is still a nice size, but a little bit shorter. And then same thing with Mercari. Mercari is you short titles, but again, Tracy, with a great point, you can use it in the tags. And I think that that's something that is, underrated and definitely should be utilized at any chance given, for sure. All right. So hopefully that was helpful, Aaron. Thank you for submitting your item. And like I said, anybody in the chat, if at any point you guys do come across any items that you need help identifying, please feel free to email us at the email that is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All right. So next up this is going to be a doozy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a doozy. So first, before I pull it up, let me read this email so everybody kind of has a idea. Okay. It's a grave. It's a urn, basically. So this person believes it to be from the Art Nouveau period, 1890 to 1910, 1912, because of the design, but they are not sure. It is I don't know how to say this word, funerary urn. Is that right, Ma?
Yeah.
Funerary, funerary.
Yeah.
Funerary urn. Says
No,
there's no L.
Oh, there's no L.
No. Funerary urn.
Okay.
And so, hello, Dina. Thank you for joining us. And so what this is the metal parts are bronze, and the main body, also known as the grave, is a heavy porcelain. It is glazed white on the inside. It is 21 inches tall without the lid. It weighs approximately 10 pounds. And he'd like to know for sure when it was made and who made it. The detail work in the bronze is really good, but I can find absolutely no markings of any kind on it. So, yes, this is for a cremation. Okay. So, let's take a look. This is going to be super difficult, guys, but we are going to try our best. That is what we do. This is obviously a little bit outside of my But I do also am intrigued and always try to figure out and learn something new. Voila. What do you think about this? Okay. Oh, these people.
Yikes. Baroque.
What do you mean? Is that Baroque?
Those little angels on the top there.
They are for sure. And this bronze is definitely detailed, as you can see. It's just finding. I mean, I don't know if if it's going to be possible to find the exact maker or age. That would be kind of difficult.
French.
It looks French, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right. Let's take a look. French is what you believe it to be?
Oh yeah.
What makes you say French?
Just all the curlicues. Just a hunch. French cremation vase. Urn. French cremation urn.
I apologize. Does anybody have any thoughts in the chat as to time period, age, anything like that? That is so gothic. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Have a good night, David.
Hi, David.
And so I can't find any markings on it anywhere. Simple question. Repeat. Artist marked mid-century giraffe. That's how I'd list it. Yes. Yes. So yes, it is for cremation. There's no markings anywhere. What is painted on the front with red? Let's see. It looks like flowers. People on eBay drive me crazy. Okay, so it's porcelain and bronze. That's where we're going. That's where we're definitely there with that, right? Small detail file. Brass. No, it's bronze. Bronze. What's going on, Giant? How's it going? Okay, so let's go here. Bronze, porcelain, urn. Oh, geez, there's so many. When you say French, right? Ma Duke's passed out. Show the bottom, not 100% it's bronze. The bottom could be cast metal, I'm thinking. race porcelain urn. Okay, somebody said they wanted to see the bottom one more time. There is the bottom. The metal is the same underneath as it is above. All right. Now I'm wondering if anybody could identify the flowers. That might help in the research. Yes, Victorian. I don't know if it's Victorian. It might. Mark, who submitted it, believes that it might be more of Art Nouveau. So Tommy said to search Sevres style porcelain urn. Bronze. Let's see if that will narrow it down some. And I think that's French. Like Ma Duke said, she thought it was French too. I mean, these things go for a ton of money too, especially in the pairs. Let's see. Flowers. Okay, let's try this. Floral pattern, bronze, porcelain. Porcelain urn. I'm gonna be putting in a vase. It better be high end. What's going on, Tim? How you doing? French or English? Trying to look French. Yeah, it's definitely. I think we can all agree it does have more of a French appeal to it. Now, I would imagine that this is probably one of those things where it's like you may not find the exact one like it ever. I'm pretty sure these things, I mean, unless there's, it was made in a pair and then it was, separated from the pair. Let's see. Where is that? Sevres. Now this person says that it's signed, and I hate when people say something is signed and then in the picture it doesn't have the sign, like the signature, because that's what I would want to know. Leaf mold base, race flow, bracket feet. It has very similar feet. Okay, well, let's go away from the flowers. Let's try these. Okay, angel handles maybe. What is this thing called? Is this an angel? Would you guys refer to that as an angel? Victorian is more of a time period than a style. Very true. Are we gonna call it a chair rub? Look, Susie in the chat. Because if Susie's in the chat, you know, everybody used to make fun of the way I said cherubs until I realized it's pronounced cherub. All right, so we're gonna go cherub handled urn. Let's try that. Cherub handle urn. What am I? Best It's not a cherub, says Steve. What would you call them? What are we calling them? Oh, my back today. Naked baby. What is this? Trish just sent me something. Oh, yeah. Good job. Okay. Chinese. All right. So we have somebody who has sent something in that may be of assistance. Don't search that phrase. Cherubs don't have boobs. Got it. Call them angels. All right. Let me stop this for 1 second. All right, here we go. All right. So, what's going on, Brian? How you doing? All right. So, Trisha just sent me something in. Now, it might not be right, but it definitely is matching on the handles. Right? Very similar. I wish I could get a side angle of pretty darn close, right? I mean, I like looking at this sort of detail here and detail there. Now, let's see the neck. The neck is almost the same too, right? Very similar. Here too. They're using maidens. So let's see what they say in this description of this one. This person says, up for your consideration is a Chinese porcelain and brass urn with a Chinese charger. Small lid on it. There is some very slight patina in a few areas. The charger has casino on the other side. Approximately. Item. So they don't really give you much. They're saying Chinese. The base is definitely a little bit different too. I think it's ewer. Victorian ewer. I wouldn't necessarily call it a Chinese export. I mean, somebody sold this for $348. There's a good possibility that this person just doesn't, they don't necessarily know what they have, and they might have just said Chinese based upon on the plate. Maiden handled urn. Same makers for two. Or Fatbird's Fine says Ormolu handles. Okay, let's try that. Ormolu handled urn. Handles and base. What is Fatbird's Finds? What does Ormolu mean? Ormolu. Is that the shape of the handle, or is that another word for these maidens? Jesus, look at this one, guys. This one sold for $13,000. Sheesh. It's a gilding technique. Gotcha. Okay, 19th century burial urns. Somebody says to look up. Oh, no, that's not going to give me much. No. The hats on maidens makes me think it's Indonesian. I don't know if they're hats. I think it's just that might just be their hair. Hold gilt over bronze. That's what that is. Okay. Gold gilt over bronze. Got it. All right. I also am killing cremation is not one sits it in an urn. I would say we'll get it. It's okay. Thanks for coming by, Tracy. You think it's something that he should have appraised, perhaps, since there could be some real money in there? It's definitely possible, for sure. I mean, it might be interesting to. Do you have like a Do you have like a Bill? I plan to occupy it someday. Yes, very true. Well, it might be nice to know what you're sitting in. I mean, personally, I think French. I think French. I think late 1800s. But I think it's definitely a possibility that you could look into as far as being Indonesian for sure. You want to see the glaze up close? Okay. Let's see. So this is not my piece, Krillin. This piece belongs to Constellation Pegasus. He believes that he found it at I think he got it at an auction, you said, Mark, years ago. Seen everything from 300 to 15,000 in sales. Yeah, for sure, Bill. I mean, it definitely has some there's definitely some monetary value possibility in this item for sure. It is really pretty, and I love the handling on it. I think the handles, whether they're angels, cherubs, goddesses, whatever they are, they're definitely really nice, detailed, and it looks like a very well-made piece too, for sure. Yeah, the black is nice. I mean, and the condition too. You have to remember, like something like this. Assuming we're all correct, and this is years and years, well over 100 years old. The fact that there's no cracking on any of this, is there any crazing at all on that, Mark? Is there any crazing on this piece? Yeah, Krillin, if you think Leslie knows, ask Leslie. Will be a very impressive final resting place. That is for certain. I believe that to be also correct. Evening all. Did you ever look at the mermaid pictures I sent you? That was French. Everyone has drawn a blank so far. That was you know what? That's a good thing I'm glad you brought that up. I looked at before I even started doing these sort of shows. Tea Cakes had sent me a picture of a mermaid, and like I spent a lot of time trying to figure that piece out, and I was never able to do it. You know what I might do, Tea Cakes? I'm pretty sure I still have those emails, those pictures. But do me a favor, Tea Cakes. Send the pictures again to the email that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and then maybe what I'll do is we'll take a look at it next Monday and have everybody in the chat chime in too, because a lot of times it helps having everybody in the chat because people bring things to your attention that you may not recognize prior to. So resend those pictures of the mermaid to me again, and maybe we can try and take a crack at that next week for sure. I'm not trying to dim Tupperware and sell that urn. I think it's worth quite a bit. Yeah, it's definitely, that thing probably has a lot of value to it. Mark has really nice taste and good stuff too. You have a few brain busters? Thank you, Justin. Yeah, this stuff can get pretty intense sometimes. Good. I'll definitely try and bring that up on next week's episode, and we'll try and crack that one, because that one was that. Talk about a brain buster, Justin. That mermaid had me stumped for a while. It was crazy. All right, guys. So that's it for you. Have some things you want to send as well. Bring it on, people. Let's do this. Because this is, I mean, it is tough. Don't get me wrong, but it's also a lot of fun. And the most important thing is the things that we learn along the way of trying to identify these items. We're learning new. Read what my friend told me about the urn and being put on his mantle. Yeah, use. Let me go back to, I did read it. Do you want me to read it out loud? He said he told a friend he was going to have to put me on his mantle after I'm stuffed in the thing. He told me, that's fine, but you spook me and I'll flush your ass down the toilet. So yeah, it's not always, obviously the things that we want to try and do here is to be able to identify these items for people, and we have done that successfully on multiple occasions. But some of the other things that are important about this show and this process is basically helping people understand some of the things that we go through when we're trying to identify items. And I do this almost on a daily basis because of the nature of the business. And it's not, you use some of these same techniques, whether it be an antique or vintage item, or whether it be another piece that you got up that you are, trying to flip for a profit online. There's always going to be some sort of research involved. And more times than others, the initial research saves you a lot of hassle down the road, whether it be, answering questions that people may have, or, selling something for you might end up selling something for a lot less than what it might be worth because you didn't want to go through with the research. And I do that all the time. I mean, I'm an honest guy. I'm an open book. So there's no need for me to tell you otherwise. It's just, that's really cool too. I've seen a lot of that before. So it's just there, and there's a lot that goes into the process, and then the things that we shout out to Tommy. I appreciate the support and the love. The Migraine Medicine Fund. Yeah, it's funny because I just ran out of my Excedrin migraine, and $4.99 after YouTube's cut, I can probably get another small bottle from 7-Eleven. So thank you, Tommy. I appreciate the love, brother. So yeah, but remember that it's not always about the end of the project or the end of the research, but you want to be able to try and, retain the information that you're learning along the way, because that information that you learn along the way of researching any item can be, utilized in a ton of other items that you may be researching, whether it be terminology, whether it be, terms, and something that, like, I like to keep a little glossary of things that I've learned over time during doing research, because it speeds up the process of the research moving forward. You start to remember key terms, and then you can kind of like play with the wording when you're researching, whether it be Google, WorthPoint, eBay, anything. It's definitely super important, and it helps. It's definitely beneficial. Whether you're a collector or a reseller, it doesn't really matter. It's just really awesome. And I'm just glad that we can do this together and help people, for sure. It's great that the community is willing to help identify items we find in the wild. Love that Tim takes this on. Thank you, Rita. We appreciate the support and the love. I mean, it's the little things that count, and we just always trying to do what we can do to help others. And we enjoy it. We have a good time, and we hope you guys enjoy it too. So that is going to wrap it up for this live. We are getting ready to finalize some things for the live sale. I'm going to get a cup of coffee, and I will see everybody again at 8 o'clock in 1 hour for our live vintage sale. Thank you guys once again for all the love and support, and we'll see you guys in an hour. Peace.